Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review the new documentary, Chasing Childhood. And this is from directors Margaret Munzer-Loeb and Eden Wormfeld. And this documentary focuses on our culture and our country about stranger danger and all this structure, high achieving, school so important, structured extracurricular activities, because you need to get into the best school to be happy afterwards, to get in a good job, or it's a failure. And the pressures that's putting on our children in our society, and what's happening to our future, and how people, honestly, my age, react to a lot of things. Because I grew up in a time that this documentary is talking about. A little bit further back, though, and I guess just to talk a little bit, and I don't get too personal in these documentaries, but talking, because I feel like this documentary hit a chord. For me, I was a very quiet, shut-in kind of kid. So, like, I didn't have a whole lot of friends. I didn't go out a whole lot. I had academic challenge. I was on the Knowledge Bowl in high school, and I had book club in middle school. I tried doing tennis. I was on the track team in high school, did shot put, and I played baseball for 6 years when I was younger. All that's really spread out. I did football for 2 years. Football wasn't my thing, but I spent a lot of time at home just doing homework. Every day after school, hours and hours and hours of homework, because I was in all the EP classes. I was really pushing myself. And then I got to college and really got to figure out who I wanted to be. And I didn't venture out. I didn't go on a whole lot of trips, unless it was specifically with my family. I didn't just randomly like, oh, it's time to go outside right now. I was also an obese kid. Probably should have got out more and actually did more physical things, but I sat around and read and played video games all the time. And ate what I wanted. But looking at this documentary, it made me think a lot about the perspective we have on parenting at this point. And, like, I'm turning 29. I might be 29 by the time this review releases, because this is an early screener. But I still get texts from my mom, be careful, every time I drive, even though I live 10 minutes from my mom. She'll text me when it's raining or there's a lot of fog, be careful driving to work. And it's just like, I'm almost 30. When's this going to stop? And like my mom always tells me, it's like, she'll never stop being my mother. But it's very interesting because I also work at a college and see the helicopter parents in action, and parents coming in and vouching for their 18, 19, 20, 21-year-old children who are adults by law at this point. And where did we get here? How did we get here? And looking at our education system, and the expectation is you need to be structured and doing this, doing that, doing this, doing that. And you need to get into college and you need to do this. And I think in general our society is kind of revolting against that idea because it's getting so expensive. And we really need trades and people going into other lines of work that aren't college track careers. And like, I'm even thinking about, like, I don't recall ever being that kid that would just go out, hang out with a bunch of kids until mom's like, it's dinner time, come home. And I was never like that. And was I like that because our society set up that way? For me personally, probably not. It was probably just me as a kid. But looking at our society, it's like they even talk about laws in this documentary about, like, kids under 14 aren't allowed out by themselves. Like, my mom would tell me that she would ride her bike from Haddon Township to Woodbury, New Jersey, and that's like a 20-minute car ride. And then I'm like, I can't stay out late and stuff like that. And they have the arguments of this is a crueler world, and they talk about in the documentary the milk carton kids and stuff like that. And it's very interesting because I also work with a lot of really high achieving students that you get one bad grade and it's like the end of the world, because that's what they were brought up to believe. You mess up once and you screw up your future. And I got so angry watching this documentary, listening to both President Bush and President Obama being like, no child left behind. Well, it's even more than that. We need to get our childs ahead. And like Bush, Obama. And like, what, you have to take more tests? Well, sorry. And it's just like, standardized tests aren't helping kids. And it's so interesting, this documentary, like this documentary, Chasing Childhood, isn't something that's so technically well done, and like this isn't like a super ambitious documentary in how it's constructed, but it really strikes a chord in looking at our society and a perspective of, do we need to change things in our country for the betterment of our kids? And kids don't go out and play anymore. And that's the thing, it's like they bring up like it's technology's fault or it's the college's fault. And they bring up like this has been an issue before there were smartphones and stuff like that. And poor group of kids being interviewed in this movie, it's like, how many days a week do you get to go home and just do what you want after school? None of them. It's like, I got hip-hop dancing one night, I got French tutoring the next night, I got like acting, and I got dance, and this tutor, that tutor, this thing, that thing. And it's just like, kids can't be kids anymore. And things are so complicated, and that tension is so high. And what I really appreciate about this film is it looked at one specific family too, throughout. And this young woman who dealt with a lot of mental illness and drug use, trying to cope with the pressures being put on her just by society, and not necessarily just her parents. And you look at like this woman being run out on a rail because she let her kid use a subway by himself. And that was an interesting perspective in this too, of like, this kid learned how to use the subway when he was like 10 years old. And it's like, how dare you? And they like talk about all these parents getting arrested for neglect and potentially facing 10 years in prison for these things. And it makes you really think about a lot of things. I'm like, I don't have any kids, but it made me thinking about what I'm going to be like as a father. And how strict should I be on things? And how hard should I push my kids? And to be fair, my mom didn't really need to with me, because I put that pressure on myself. And for better or for worse, I did. I put that pressure on myself. And I'm happy now. But there was a lot of times growing up I wasn't very happy. And they deal with that in this documentary. Because like, all I did was go home and do work after school for hours and hours, because I was in all the AP classes and all those classes. And I really think like this is a really well put together documentary that gives a lot of interesting perspectives. And I think this is a documentary that everybody should go check out, because it's that important. And I think, honestly, our society kind of needs to take a look at what we're doing to our children and how's that going to be affecting our future. So when Chasing Childhood comes out, go check this documentary out. It's a whole hour and 19 minutes of your life that's really going to make you think and open your eyes to things. And a great documentary can do that. So those are my thoughts on Chasing Childhood. Let me know what you think, and let's talk some movies. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.